Relaxing, nourishing, slow flow. So to start out, this we're going to start with grounding stretches, and then we'll move into a more active flowing, but we'll come to the very end, we'll come back to the floor, we'll do more restorative postures. So I'm sure that you will enjoy this flow. So as you come onto your back, bring your feet forward. Let's go ahead and ground your feet to the mat. Grab onto the back of the legs and tuck the chin in. Let's roll all the way down. And let's take your arms, just rest them out to the side, tucking your shoulder blades down. And if you'd like a little more relaxing, a little more widening of that posterior pelvis, you can drop the knees, tent them in, and draw the chin down towards your chest. Palms are rotated up and shoulder blades are sliding down. And now bending at your elbows, bring your arms into cactus arms. Bring your knees up. And then kind of plant the low back. So get the low mid back to rest into the floor. So there's a little tilt of the pelvis. And now I'm going to have you draw your knees side to side, doing a little windshield wiper. And so this is just a gentle awakening of the low back and your hips. It's good to check in. It's been a long day. A long day, not that long of a day, but it's been a busy day. I'm sure you've had a busy day. And we just want to move gently. And this is our slow flow, so we'll start by being mindful of the hips and the low back. And then if you'd like, let's go ahead and drop the knees to one side, either side. And if you feel like a deeper stretch, just planting the ankle on the outside of that thigh, the opposite IT band or thigh. And then let go of your arms. And soften through the chest, the shoulders. Notice where the breath is moving now. Maybe a little more into the opposite lung, the rib cage. Now you're going to slide that foot off. Plant the foot down to the mat. Let's go ahead and drop both knees to the other side. And then take that ankle so that it's resting below, right above the knee and on the outside of the outer thigh of the opposite leg. And take a little time to notice where you're feeling your stretch. Without any judgment, but just noticing. We'll come back through these hips again later on in the class. So we'll take another full breath and go ahead and slide that foot off. Let's send your legs out across your mat and reach your arms overhead. So just take a long stretch and you can wiggle your toes and fingers and just feel that energy running through the body. Pull the belly in. Maybe the heart might be lifting a little bit. It's all okay. We're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, I'm going to have you bring your right knee. Let's bring the right knee into the chest and just hold the right knee in. Keep the left arm and the left foot reaching. So keep reaching through the fingertips and the toes. Now go ahead and slide that right leg down, right arm reaching, and then we're going to take the opposite, the left knee into the chest, holding the left shin with the left hand and hugging in. And then point your right toes, reach out through the right fingers and lengthen through the right side of your body. And take a deep inhale as you exhale, release that. Reach both arms overhead, both legs. And let's just do the right again. So bring the right knee in, just kind of hug in. When you hug in, notice where the mid-back drops into. Then point your left toe, reach through the left fingertips, just get really long through that side of your body. And take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's reach both arms overhead, legs are stretched out. And last time, drawing the left knee into the chest, holding it with your left hand, draw the knee in, relax the mid-back and low back into the mat. And then now extend through the right side of your body. Just reach through the armpit, the elbow, through the wrist, and reach through the fingertips and point the toes. And take an inhale, and as you exhale, release both legs down. Hug both knees. Hug in to your chest. Good, and then we're going to roll to our side, either side, and we'll come up into a tabletop position. So this is a really good time to grab your blanket if you want to put it under your knees. Also, the other thing you may want is to grab your blocks. So bringing your blocks to the top of the mat. Cat cow. I'm going to have you flex your feet and get your knees directly under your hips. Spread through the fingers. Nice, nice strong push away from the floor and engagement of the abdominals. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to round the back, tuck the chin in, and drop the tailbone down. Separate through your shoulder blades. And now point your toes, soften your elbows, lift the tail first, allow the belly to soften, start to lift the sternum, letting the head and neck come up last. Good. Let's push the floor away, start to tuck the belly in, flex your feet, round the back, and separate your shoulder blades. Now take an inhale, point your toes, start to lift the tailbone, let the belly soft, move through the rib cage, the sternum and the head and neck are last. And then one more time, flex your feet. Good, tuck the tailbone under, pull that belly in, open up the shoulder blades, rounding your back, chin to your chest, navel to spine. Good, now point the toes, and we'll roll into that cow position one more time. Lifting your heart and belly and pausing here, pausing in your cow position. Good, a little sway back. And what we'll do is we're going to flex our feet and push back into our down dog. So lifting up your hips. Walk your feet as wide as your mat. And then press into the palms of the hands and push back through the heels. Let the head hang, and you can shake the head out a little bit here. Just shake no, maybe shake a little yes. And push the sit bones back and up. Now we're going to go ahead and come up onto our toes. Step your feet back together under your hips. Send your right leg up towards the sky, three-legged down dog. You're going to take a deep breath, and as you exhale, you're going to bend the knee in towards your chest, and you're going to come into a plank position and step your foot forward. So high lunge. Now we're going to, from this high lunge, come into a little twisted warrior. I call it twisted warrior. So this is where you can add your block here. The block is under my left hand. And I'm going to take my right hand to the middle of my back. This is where I'm going to start to rotate that shoulder back. Look up towards the ceiling. Reach the arm up. And we're pulling that belly into the inner thigh. And now just circle the wrist a little bit, maybe in the other direction. And then straighten the arm out, reach, and then circle the arm down. Your head will follow, and it goes back and all the way up. And then reach forward like you're swimming through water, and then reach back and up. And one more time, swimming that arm down, reach it, and come all the way up. Very good. Go ahead and bring that hand down to the mat. And let's go ahead and bend the back knee. So we come into the low lunge. We'll get into those tight hips. And take another full breath. And I want you to go ahead and bring your hands onto your quad, bring them up, and we'll come into our cactus arms like we did on the floor. So the arms are in cactus. We're gonna draw and lift through the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Now breathe. And feel the expansion of the rib cage. Now draw the hands down to the floor or to your blocks. Come into your hamstring stretch. So we're going to flex that foot, maybe even flex the back foot. Start to bring the hips a little bit more back, pushing. But I'm going to keep my back long and straight for right now. Just to pause. I really want more focus on your hamstring. If we want to just feel a little more, we can stretch through this right IT band, and we can take the arm back and open up through that shoulder. Now take another inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and bring the hand back down, and we're going to bend the knee. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up that back knee, and we're going to step the back foot forward. So we're going to lift the hips up and step the foot forward. So coming into pyramid pose. Now you may take your blocks, have them up just a little bit. So notice how that really helps my back become a little more even with my hips. For me, that's perfect. And some of you may choose to step that back foot a little bit forward. So both feet are pointing forward to the top of the mat. Now here, if you want to, this is where you can get a little more juicy here in the hips. You can bend the elbows and come into a little forward fold. Woo! I can feel that. Just take about 3 breaths. Very good. So you're going to come halfway up again. Very good. Now we're going to bend the front knee, and you're going to move your blocks off the mat. Step the left foot forward, but come to the outside of your mat and move into the hips a little more. We're coming into Malasana. So dropping the hips down. You can bring the hands to the mat. You can readjust your feet. Good job. Very good. So take another full breath. Release your hands down. Let's step your feet back into your down dog. So let's come back to that down dog. You can do a wide-legged down dog. That feels like it opens up the the hamstrings a little bit and the hips. Now we'll step the feet together towards each other. Take your left leg up towards the sky. Pull the belly in. Bring the knee in towards your chest, coming into almost like a plank position. And you're going to step that foot forward. Good job. And just rest here for a moment. Just kind of situate yourself a little bit. And we're going to move into our twisted warrior. That's my name. I like it. We can all get a little twisted here together. So we're gonna, you can use your blocks or fingertips to the floor. Take your left hand on the back And just make sure we did that lumbar curve last week. So think of your lumbar curve. That shoulder starts to come back. You're twisting in towards your belly and towards this inner thigh. And you don't need to look up. You can look down to the floor. That's not suitable for your neck. And you're going to really press back. This is a straight leg. You want to press back through that heel. Start to reach the arm up. So if we do the twist first, we tend to get a little more. It's not coming from the shoulder so much. We're getting that twist through the body first. So take a few more breaths. And we'll take another full inhale. As you exhale, let's go ahead and move through that wrist a bit. Give it a little love, or reverse that circle. Good. Then the palm is facing forward. We're going to dive the arm down. I know I'm just going in one direction today, but we're going to reach back, look up, and then arm comes down and swims forward. Then you're going to reach back and up and forward. And one more time, sweeping it down, reaching back, up, and all the way down. Good. Holding onto the blocks, that nice circle for the shoulder joint. We're going to drop the back knee. Good. And just hold here. We can uncurl the back foot if you wish. Bring your hands to your thighs and sink into the hip flexor stretch. This is what we would call sort of a runner's lunge. You can bring your arms up into cactus. So we'll open the heart and the chest, draw the shoulder blades together, feel the stretch through the front of the body. Take another full inhale. As you exhale, release your hands down to the floor or the block. Come into your hamstring stretch. So flexing, I'm going to flex both feet. It just feels a little more sturdy for the knees, right? Gives them a little more support. I'm going to lift up through the crown of my head, pull the belly in, keep trying to lengthen through the hip, pushing back, lengthening through that hamstring. And we just take a few rounds of breath just to pause, get connected to the body, be a little more mindful. As we dig that heel in, we're grounding that heel but lengthening through the spine and the hamstring. Some of you may choose to forward fold if you wish. For me right now, it's all about the hip. It's all about the hamstring. Just take another full breath. Let's get the IT band. So reaching, same arm, same leg, reaching back. And I am lifting my torso up a little bit. So take 2 more breaths. And then you're going to bring the hand down to the floor. Now we're going to bend the knee back into our low lunge. And so the blocks aren't necessary, but they kind of help with this next one. But they're not required, right? So we're going to lift the back knee up. And we're going to lift the hips up as you step this foot forward. So the toes coming a little bit forward. Give it a couple tries. Find that spot where you can get the back foot grounded. Both legs are straight. So pull into this quad. Draw this kneecap up. And squaring off your hips. So you can take the feet a little bit wider. It can be more like a railroad track instead of the feet one in front of the other, right? So I'm going to take my blocks up one more step. Just feels a little bit better for my back and hips. Keep the neck long and in line with your spine. Some of us may choose to go into that forward fold. Drawing the nose down towards the knee. Take 3 more breaths. Very good. One more inhalation. Now as you exhale, come into your half lift. Very good. Now we're going to step the blocks. You're going to bend the knees, step the blocks forward. Walk the feet wide as your mat or a little bit wider. Another time to try our malasana, our squat pose. Drawing the tailbone down, stretching through the low back, the sacrum. And just taking one more full breath. Bring the hands down. Let's lift the hips up. Keep the knees a little bit bent, but circle the arms up. Reach up to the ceiling. And bring your hands now to your heart. Good. Step your feet together into mountain pose, Tadasana. Good. So coming into our balancing poses, again, I suggested earlier on that you may choose to be next to a wall. So we're going to do 3 of them. So you can do them all against the wall with your hand on the wall, fingertips on the wall. So we're going to bring our weight into our right leg. You're going to come onto the toes of the left foot. Engage into the abdominals. You can find yourself a little spot, drishti spot, and take the knee up, coming into a little stork pose. Take another full breath. Let's send this leg back into our crescent lunge, so reaching the arms up. Now to add a little bit of strength, we're going to bend the knee down and then reach the arms up. Good, bend the knee down and reach the arms up. Woohoo! Bend the knee down and now reach the arms up. Beautiful. So bring the hands to the heart. Now we're going to step this foot maybe forward a little bit, or you're going to bring the leg up and come into our upside down 4. We practiced this a little bit. We opened our hips earlier. We can sit back into chair pose. Just try that. Remember, find that wall. Take another full breath. Send the leg behind you. Remember those blocks? They can be here for you. Bring the hands to the heart. You can bring the hands to the floor, forward fold, and now drop the foot down. Good. Forward fold, inhale, come into a half lift. Pull the belly in and circle the arms up, all the way up. And now hands to namaste, to your heart. Oh, good work, you guys. Let's try the other side. So left leg, knees are soft. Shoulders are back. Weight is into your left foot. Come on to the toes of the right. Pull that belly, and this is really good, very important for our balance. So you're going to pick that knee up. Bring the arms out into stork. Now take your time with this. You can step that foot back. See if you can bring it all the way back into a lunge. Reach the arms up, coming into our crescent lunge. Good work. Now we're going to add a little strength. So you're going to bend the knee, drop down. Inhale, reach up. Good, bend the knee down. Good, reach up. And one more time, bend the knee down. And now reach up. Good job, you guys. Take another full breath. As you exhale out, bring your hands to your heart. Now you can bring this foot, do a couple little taps forward if you wish. I'm sliding it up, bringing it across, and sitting into my chair pose. Now I know Candace does this on the ball. I love it. It's good for the hips. Sinking down. Take another full breath. You're going to unhook this foot. Start to bring it back. You can tap it down if you wish. Your blocks are here for you. And take another full breath. Good. You can come into a little forward fold, fingertips to the floor, and now bring that foot down, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Good. Belly is in, arms like wings circle up. Woo! Build some heat and bring your hands to your heart. So first let's go ahead and come back to that tabletop position. So stepping your feet back, come into a plank, bend your knees, and drop down onto your belly. Let's go into a little bit of our Sphinx pose. And draw the elbows a little bit towards the rib cage and spread the fingers wide. So we're gonna draw the belly onto the floor. And I'd like you to start to reach your arms out. And now take another full breath. Let's fold the forearms and rest your forehead on the forearms. Take one more inhalation. Hands underneath your shoulders. And let's slowly push up and come into child's pose. So whatever child's pose you choose today, you can bring the knees together, our knees wide. Forehead can be down. Arms resting to your side. And just let go of your arms. Soften through the face. And feel your heartbeat. And breathe into the back of the rib cage. Now slide your hands under your shoulders, push through your hands, and come up. Your palms on top of your knees. Bring your hands to your heart and bow your chin. The light in me salutes that light and that divine that's in you. And together we say, Namaste.